Okay, we're looking at the back of the Leslie 760 organ speaker. The speaker was built specifically for organ music. You're looking at the amplifier there, and in this case the Leslie was built in the 1970s, so this is solid state, which means that it has a printed circuit board, and it was considered modern at the time. The organ, built in 1950 whatever, 50s, it actually has tubes in the back of it, and if you can hear this, sort of like the hum of the tubes, or maybe it's just the age of the unit, or maybe it always had that sound, I'm not sure. You really can't hear it when you're playing, and the noise kind of, that dead space like that helps me to communicate with the dead. Now, there we go. That is a 15-inch bass speaker, and as you can see, it's blowing its sound straight down. There's a hole in that shelf, and below it is a box that actually has like a horn shape in it. Let me show it to you. This piece is basically a big scoop, and all of its sound is coming out of that scoop. And when the motors are running, that scoop is spinning around, and it makes a heavy wobble noise that's kind of popular with with organs and stuff. Up top, below this insulation here, there's another speaker, and it's facing up, and it's blowing into these two horns. And when the motors are running, you'll see those spinning around, doing the same thing as they're blowing their sound through the vent holes in the wooden case of the speaker. Let's see. And here it is on high. You're actually seeing a blur there. Having the organ or the speaker with no motion at all gives you a certain sound, and then this right now at slow speed gives you a slightly different sound, and then of course at high speed it gives you the heavy vibrato. Now, I'm not playing this like a rock instrument or anything because again, I'm not a musician, and there's not a whole lot that I can play and this organ is limited. It's really not meant for rock. But the Hammond B3 is very well known in the rock industry, and if you listen to Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, you can really hear the way they use their Hammond organ. A B3 is like the best of the best from Hammond, and when they play, or their keyboardist plays, they'll switch back and forth from the slow speed to the fast speed, in the middle of playing things and whatever, but they play it really, really awesome. It's really cool. Whereas, right now it's Christmas, it's December of 2008, and I like to play some Christmas music on it, or whatever music I can find. I do have some things from Rocky Horror Picture Show and from the Doors, but and the Beatles and that stuff. But this is more of a home organ. But anyway, so let's try to attempt here to demonstrate. I call this the slow is more of a dreamy sound. It's a more of a mystic sound to it. Let's get it over here. Of course, my hands shake like crazy when I'm playing, so that limits me a little bit too. But anyway, that's like almost a churchy sound. If I turn off the speed completely, let's see what else. I don't have any music in front of me, so I'm guessing. Anyway, so let's kick it into high. And try. Now, having the back of the speaker off doesn't help much. The sound's really meant to be going through these vent holes all the way around the speaker, and so when I do the other demonstrations and some stuff, you'll see, or you'll hear, it gives kind of a very, very cool sound. This specific organ was probably never really intended for a Hammond speaker. It has its own vibrato, but it's just, there's nothing, hearing that speaker and that whirling that it makes on its own in person is something you just can't recreate.